Holy shit, I'm back. It's been a long couple of weeks, folks. We laid off the Guilty by Association program because we got busy. I got busy with the bands, plural. It's been a long couple of weeks. St. Patrick's Day kicks off, and my U2 tribute band, To You, the world's second best U2 show, did some traveling. Who's fucking with me now? All right. I'll tell you more about this later. But we did some traveling. We were down in Florida. We had a couple of gigs in Fort Lauderdale, a place called Murphy's Law. And it's a very Irish, very fastidious place. We had a great time down there, actually. One of the last great times that I will ever have with my ex-lead singer, Gene Marchello, of Good Rat fame. That would be Pepe's kid. And he was the one I was ranting about a couple of weeks back, about the child support issue, the drinking, the overabundance of marijuana smoke, the chemical imbalance, the pissing and moaning. It's called LSD, folks. So it's lead singer disease. And, you know, a lot of people say that there's always like that friction between the lead guitarist and lead singer. And that could very well be true. But when it becomes friction between a boss and an employee, and when that friction turns into more than just a couple of words here and there, turns into nearly having, like, you know, nearly throwing down with someone that you don't particularly care to work for anymore, then it's time to move on. So that's exactly what we've done. It was a good trip. I drove down to Florida from Long Island, New York. So it was a long trip, but I have a nice van. Just bought it a couple of months back, and all the gear went down with us. Normally we rent gear when we get down to wherever we're going. We'll rent, and everything's set up for us and ready to go. In this case, we brought everything with us to set up ourselves and make a couple extra bucks. The guys made a few extra dollars. Speaking about dollars, I want to get into that. The biggest issue that this fucking tool had with me was the pay rate, how much he was paid. Now, when you're the owner of a business, what you're making on each job is no business of your employees. Am I correct in assuming? I think I am. I've worked for many companies, air conditioning companies, and aside from other types of employment, and each and every time my salary was my salary. I didn't get to say, well, I did the same job here, and you made this much on my work, so I should make more than the job that I did here, where you didn't make as much. That's not the way commerce and employment is governed. It doesn't work that way. For you people in bands that have a one-stop shopping boss, let's say a boss, a booking agent. This is everything that I do. I'm a booking agent, a boss. I take care of the gear. I take care of all of the vehicles, the trucks, and whatnot to get the gear to the gig. I draw up all contracts, handle all negotiations with all club owners, festival bookers, theme park, blah blah blah. I author the website as well. I take care of any issues that may occur while we're out on the road because I road manage as well as playing guitar, and pretty much do everything, and I say this on stage, except sing, play bass, and play the drums. But everything else that's done, from soup to nuts, is taken care of by myself. Excuse me. So when I have an employee come to me and demand that I pay them more and threaten that if I don't pay them more, they're going to quit, and tell me and their friends behind my back and fans and anyone else who will listen on their newly discovered toy Facebook that I am unfair. Here, let me just give you like something to go on here. The pay rate for my guys, and I'm going to be totally honest here, for a local gig, which means we drive to the show, which entails me driving them from door to door practically to shows, no matter where it is. It's down to we do a lot of work in Maryland, Virginia, some stuff in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, not too far. Connecticut. That's about as far as we'll drive. There are special circumstances, special occasions where we drive further, but they weren't in the van when we drove down to Florida, by the way. I flew them. That's another thing I take care of, all travel arrangements, flights, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, when we do a local gig like that, it's $300 in your pocket. Take it home, sing 2 sets, and go the fuck home with $300 in your pocket. All right, you might not say that that's much, but we average 2 gigs a week, 3 sometimes. So you're taking home anywhere between, on the rare occasion that we only work once a week, $300, which leaves you plenty of time to get a fucking part-time job. Or if we work 3-4 times a week, you're making anywhere between like $900 and $1,200 a week to sing some fucking songs. A couple hours a night. That is the bottom end of the pay scale. If you get on an airplane and fly to such excruciatingly horrible places like Punta Cana, where else have we been? Recently, Grand Cayman. We've been to Ireland with this, Dublin, Ireland, playing a corporate show at the old Jameson Distillery. We've been to Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, beautiful place to go. All over the United States, all over Central America, some dicey areas, but always staying in 5-star hotels. Travel all over the place. To step on the airplane, you get $600 for that show. So everything's paid for. Travel arrangements, food, transportation, you're riding in limousines. You sing, you fucking dummy. That's what you do. You sing. And you get paid $600 for those shows. There were some specialty shows that paid more than that. Can you believe it? For one gig, paid more than that. We're talking about a specialty show, driving a little bit further than local, which I consider to be round trip 1,500 miles or more. And for these shows, and we only have one of those that we actually take the drive. It's to South Bend, Indiana. For those, you get paid $1,200. It's a 2-day jaunt. We get in the van the day before, actually, drive to South Bend, Indiana, just outside of South Bend, Indiana, get a hotel. I buy dinner for the whole band and crew. We eat, we go back to the hotel, we sleep. The next morning, we wake up, we drive to South Bend, which is only at that point about 30 miles away from Elkhart, Indiana. That's where we stay. And we set up in a gentleman's front yard for the home games for the Fighting Irish in Notre Dame. This guy bought a house right like adjacent to the entrance to the Gold Dome. And that's where we play, in his front yard. He's a rather wealthy individual, and he loves U2. So he's a guy that we play for quite often, and we do these shows, these home games, every couple of weeks, getting into the fall, and so we make this trip. But it pays $1,200 to play during the day. Play a couple of sets during the day and hang out, eat. They have food. It's a party atmosphere. Any one of you fuckers out there that are digging ditches and putting up heating and air conditioning ductwork, which I am quite familiar with, working manual labor jobs that you fucking hate, that you hate doing, even people that don't particularly hate their job, but aren't in love with it. How would you like to sing or play guitar or play bass or play drums for that kind of money? The kind of money that you get paid weekly for 40 hours of busting your fucking ass. How would you like to make that kind of money for pretty much hanging out, playing some music, because that's all you have to do? Gene Marchello, you're a fucking dummy. Anyone want to Google that? Follow him on Facebook. I think he stopped doing that. That was another funny thing. I'd love to bring it up. If I could find it quick enough and not bore you guys with my lack of technical ability. I would love to show you guys some of his angry Facebook comments at the old Brother Joe. Okay, just to give you an idea of how much of this guy's mind has been lost. Saturday, 3:56 a.m. That's in the morning, folks. I really didn't specifically read everything at that table, meaning at the negotiation that I had with him. It's kind of a good thing. You really think you're funny and smart, do you? This is not raised to me. This shit, you can do better than this. I'm not signing anything until I read this over and over and ask 3 or 4 friends at least. You think you're cute, you're not fucking cute. I work my balls Hawkins, and I sweat and work my balls off in the span you stand in my light. Like I'm stupid fuck. And you call me, yeah, there's the Hawkins thing again. I deserve better than this. This bullshit, you know it. I work way too hard to get this fucking insult. You could say I'm drunk or tired or stoned or on Xanax. Whatever the fuck you want to say, this is a fucking insult. This is all at 4 a.m., folks. You are lucky you have a daughter. That's all I have to say. You better make this better for me. He also says that I am lucky I don't want to go to jail. You are lucky I don't want to go to jail, and you're lucky you have a daughter. Those aren't threats, are they, folks? That's all I have to say. You better make this better for me. I'm going to fucking done soon. Let me know. Don't lie on Facebook. Don't lie on Facebook. No one ever lies on Facebook. Fucking swear, Joe. If you fucking try to fucking piss me off, you won't know what fucking hit you. Don't try it. Take my advice. Are you there? What's the matter? Question. I'm going to check and see if you posted any more posts. I'm fucking warning you. You lying piece of shit. You better do the right thing, motherfucker. Doesn't sound like a drunken asswipe to you, does it? You pussy, you pussy. A pussa. You're going to try to take these Texas threats? Are you fucking out of your mind? Do the right thing. Don't. Well, I answered back in green there. If you contact me again, the cops have already been blah, 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 already been contacted and this and that and the other thing. Well, anyway, this is a snapshot of a man losing his fucking mind. He also says I could take my guns and shove them up my ass. I don't think I would enjoy that. I'm a pussy, you pussy, you pussy. Ah, pussa, pussa. You're going to try to take these Texas threats. Yeah, I do. I take them very seriously. When you mention my daughter and the fact that you don't want to go to jail in a text at 4 a.m. while drunk, I take them very seriously, you dummy. And these are some of his angry Facebook posts. I'm done being disrespected and taken advantage of. I work too hard in this band to make such a little amount of money. Again, folks, $300 for local gigs, $600 for flyaways. This is per show. And $1,200 for special circumstance gigs. It's disgusting and disgraceful. Fuck you, Joseph Cumia. Good morning, G. Marchello. Mark Hanna asks, are you okay? No, Mark, I am not okay. I'm pretty fucking far from okay. My boss makes a ton of money off of me. But you can find them. It's Marchello. first name Gene. Take a look at some of what he's had to say about me, and take it all with a grain of salt, because you've heard it right here. You heard how I take care of the guys in my band. I would not be in business after 15 fucking years if I had been the asshole that this guy makes me out to be. I'm a businessman. Plain and simple. A businessman. I play guitar to make money. If I didn't, I'd be writing and recording and sending out my own songs, recording some of the best songs. As a friend of mine, Jeff, once said, some of the best songs no one will ever get to hear. I'd be doing that, sitting in my basement, making it a hobby. But I go out and I play live, play U2 and Journey to make money. That's what I do. It's how I found out how to monetize playing guitar, something I've been doing for 50 years. Well, this guy got the idea in his head that, and it really, I don't know when it became a real issue with him, but it seemed as though after he started posting some highly mediocre videos on Facebook about that were songs, like parts and pieces of songs where he would be sitting there playing guitar and singing. And because of his popularity due to his association with his dad's band, the Good Rats, the real Good Rats, I'm talking about old school Good Rats from Long Island, New York, he's got his father's fans that come on board with him and tell him he's the best thing since sliced bread. I don't particularly like sliced bread myself, but some people do. So this is what he gets to do, and people watch his videos and comment, and you're the best, Gene, and go Gino, you're gonna do good all by yourself. You're gonna do well. I'll give you a little background. I found this fucking guy pushing shopping carts at, and I shit you not, he was a clerk at a fucking supermarket. There's nothing wrong with being a clerk at a supermarket, but it kind of goes to show you what some people need in their lives to be a catalyst for their talent, to earn, a catalyst for their talent to earn money, to monetize their talent. Some people, some of the best lead singers I know are driving cabs. Jim Laird. Some of the best guitar players I know are, they teach. They don't play live. And the reason for this is because they don't have a driven businessman behind their talent. I didn't learn how to do it. I mean, it was nothing that I went to school for. I never learned how to make money playing guitar. So I did it for so many years for nothing and worked day gigs because I enjoyed it. I still do, but I enjoyed it to the point where I didn't care whether or not I got paid. Well, there comes a time in one's life where you really have to think about making money. If you don't, you become a bum. It's called a bum. Either you go out and get a job, or you learn how to take this talent that you love so much and make it a living. Apparently, this guy didn't know how. My singer did not know how to do it on his own. He had a couple of record deals. If you look them up on YouTube, he's got a couple of videos out there. One of them is called "First Love" by Marchello. That was the last time he saw any kind of success as a solo performer. And that was mainly due to his father's connections and ability to make record deals, to cut record deals back when record deals were even feasible. He had a band called Marchello, and he went on to, they went on to kind of self-destruct. It was was a matter of having a truck ripped off one night that no one was watching it, full of their gear. I don't know, they were inside drinking or something. And all the gear got stolen. And the record company dumped them like, because they were new. It was their freshman attempt at an album release. Song did well. The song knocked Madonna out of the top spot on the MTV charts for like a week. But, someone had to do that. And frankly, if you take a look at it, you'll see why it was his last success since joining my band not too long ago. About 6-7 years ago. It was back in the 80s, and you can tell it was pretty early 80s that he was doing this thing. Anyway, he went on to to play with the Good Rats with his dad for many, many years. And I actually played bass for the Good Rats as well. Peppy hired me. We rehearsed in my sister's basement. Gene, I became close with Gene and his brother Stefan. And the band was good. It was fun. It was a band that I grew up with. So for me to play bass for that band was an honor to play with Peppy Marchello. With all of his faults, and he died, by the way, a year or two ago, and no disrespect whatsoever meant toward him. But his son, the only other band that he ever played in was the Good Rats before he came on board with me. The reason he came on board with me was, in his own words, he was sick of playing with the Good Rats. He was calling himself a rat slave, And I used to hear him screaming at his dad all the time in the van going to and from gigs. His father did everything he could to keep his kid happy. Gene couldn't strike out on his own, couldn't go out on his own and get his own apartment and live, away from home. So his father put him up at the house, at the family house, and paid him a couple $100 or so a gig. I used to make $100 a gig, no matter where I went. I used to go as far as driving in that shitty old van to Rochester and make $100. I didn't complain because it was making money playing music. Well, seemed Gene got tired of doing that, and he quit the Good Rats. And I was around to offer him a gig while he was working at a supermarket, singing with 2U, the world's second best U2 show. My singer Tom had just lost his voice, and he was sounding fairly awful. Gene, I knew, could sing well, so I took him on board. Walking out of his Staples one day, I think I had some posters being printed up. I ran into Peppy Marchello, and this is Gene's dad, and he took me aside. He said, "Hey, Joe, how you doing?" I said, "Good, Pep. Hope all is well. Hope you're doing all right." And he said to me, "Listen, I know Gene's singing for you." I said, "Yeah." And he came on board a couple of weeks ago. He's working it out. He's getting better at what he does. He's not the best Bono right now, but he's, for a tribute band, but he's working on it. And I think he's going to become really good, really good. My bass player at the time and drummer said they didn't want him. They said that he wasn't a good front man. He had a great voice, but he didn't know how to front a band. That's another whole show, but there's a very fine line between being a front man and being a vocalist. Gene was more of a vocalist, very uncomfortable in his own skin on stage. He had, moves down and stuff, but they were a bit contrived. He said the same things every time we did a show, and he wasn't a good Bono when you get right down to it. His voice was great, but anyway, the point I was making was, speaking with Peppy, he asked me to, he said, "Hey, listen, man, try to take care of the kid because he needs the help. He can use, he can use a break." I said, "All right." I mean, being his son, being Peppy's son, I could see why he would say that about Gene. He knew him extremely well. the kid. Well, he's 49 now, so I'm 47. He's OCD to a fault. There are meds involved to take care of that end of it, but a lot of times he doesn't take care of himself. He tended to overindulge in the at the bar, and as of late, recently, smoking weed like a Rastafarian, and that does no one any good, especially when you have a chemical imbalance to begin with. I started receiving, after a brief contract negotiation, and I'll show you a clip of that right now. After a brief contract negotiation, he started drunk texting me, or stoned texting me, or Xanax texting me at 4 a.m. I got the beep, beep, beep on the cell phone, and there it was, Gene Marchello. I thought the negotiation went well. There was a raise involved. There was some conditions that I had to put forth. No more drinking on the job. No drugs on the job, which as a businessman, you can't fault me for. That's what I have to do to keep this business running and running well. You have to have some rules in place. I don't think they were unreasonable rules. They were just, don't drink and don't smoke. Stay away from mushrooms, LSD, peyote. I don't care what the fuck. Just don't do drugs and be lucid and sober on the job. Not a lot to ask. That was a sticking point. Anyway, fast forward to 4 a.m. I'm getting texts saying, "This is bullshit. This is bullshit, Joe. I work very hard for you. I work hard for you." Do you know the meaning of the word hard work? Of the words hard work? Do you know the meaning of that? I don't think you do. You went from being taken care of by daddy to a record deal when you were 18, getting some kind of advance, and daddy's still taking care of you, to playing in daddy's band where daddy was still taking care of you, to trying a couple of things on your own. Zone, I think it was, earned all of $100 a gig, maybe, when you did work with that band, and then you came straight to my band. So I really should have known from the top. I really should have known that this kid was a spoiled little brat, had no real world experience whatsoever. That, in conjunction with an organic chemical imbalance, and so many responsibilities that weren't being addressed. He was the guy I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, and I refused to mention his name because of not because of fear of any repercussion, other than him leaving the band, which he's done anyway. Thank fucking God. His child support issues. Jesus fuck. You would think if you had a kid and you were ordered to pay $46 fucking a week, you wouldn't possibly be able to go $800, $900, $1,000, sometimes $2,000 into arrears on your child support payments. $46 a week? You fucking kidding me? That was something that was thrown at me. I was the one that had to take care of that because I was his employer. And you know what he had to say to that? Well, that's what employers have to do. That's your job, Joe. It's your job. Spoiled little bitch. It's not my job. I'm not your dad. I'm your employer. I think the bottom line in this is, right now I am fucking relieved. I really am. I've had no aggravation in the past several days. I have all of my gigs covered with old lead singers and singers that I haven't used in years but are willing to come back because they know the value of a good job. They know the value of a good job. And they're happy to come back and work under the same conditions that Gene Marchello deemed to be abusive. It's almost like after a while I felt like I was the organ grinder.
Hello.
It's me.
Yes. Don't fucking lie on Facebook. I did not quit without notice. You told me I did not have to give you notice. I said, Joe, do I need to give you the 2 months notice? You said no. So don't fucking lie on Facebook saying that I did not give you notice. All right? Do you understand? Do you understand?
Here's what I'm going to tell you right now.
Understand, motherfucker? Motherfucker, do you understand?
Here's what I'm telling you right now. I'm going to the cops with your texts and what I just taped. So if you don't,
I did not threaten you at all. I'm just telling you right now.
No, you did.
Fucking do it.
You did threaten me. You did threaten me. I have it on.
And if you try to get any cops involved in this shit, just a fucking motherfucker. You motherfucker.
What is that? I'm the organ grinder and my monkey. Where did my monkey go? My monkey. She ran away. I used to put the guy out there with a fucking tin cup in his hand and go, "Go ahead, monkey. Make the money." That's all right. Jump around. Put out the tin cup. People put a coins into your tin cup. And that's what I was, a fucking organ grinder with this guy. And he didn't care. I mean, that's all he had to do. He had to be the monkey. Granted, he's going out and working, but who's the brains behind the outfit? The monkey? The monkeys are no brains. It's the organ grinder. I'm the one that made him capable of earning. And that's what bosses do. That's what they do. They make it so that the employees continue to make money. All right. Enough of this. Good luck, Gene Marchello, in all of your future endeavors. Okay, folks, we're going to pay some bills here. We have a couple of sponsors that are still with us. Thank you very much. The first of which is this little baby right here. The Bathmate Hercules water pump. It's the penis pump. Makes your Johnson bigger. I don't know through personal experience because I stopped using it. I actually got busy and refused to take this little baby on the road with me for fear of my bandmates thinking I was some kind of fucking lunatic. But actually, it's supposed to work. You can look it up on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of articles on the concept. The science behind this thing is that you take this pump and it's got a quick release on the end for the vacuum, and you pump up your dick, and you can hear it. That patented vacuum action. HydromaxBathmate.com. That would be HydromaxBathmate.com to find out more about the penis pump. And once your penis is larger, what you're probably going to want to do is exercise that bad boy so it don't get fat. That you do with the private gym. That's right, private gym. It exercises the Kegel muscle. You know, like when you were a kid, you used to take a towel and drape it over your erect penis when you got out of the shower. Oh, you never did? I used to do that all the time. I still do from time to time to entertain my girlfriend. This is pretty much the same thing, but there are weights and there's a little strap, and this is pretty cool too. So if you want to find out more about it, you go to privategym.com. Exercising that other muscle. Once you do that, you'll want to go up on none other than yesboobs.com and have some fun with your new equipment. You know, look at old Sarah Ray there. Not old, young Sarah Ray with the tremendous boobies, and have some fun with, online with your brand new large and strong penis. So remember, HydromaxBathmate.com, PrivateGym.com, and YesBoobs.com. What the fuck am I doing? I'm getting paid. That's what I'm doing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I've always been a huge fan of Penn and Teller. Penn Jillette especially. Teller doesn't say much. But Penn Jillette, when he speaks, he's eloquent. He's intelligent. He speaks honestly. And most often, he'll cite facts and figures. Reminds me a lot of my brother. Just on point. I started watching some Showtime stuff, and one of the shows that I started watching was Bullshit. It's an older show that Penn and Teller hosted, and mainly what they do is debunk and otherwise prove wrong some popular beliefs or things like poltergeists, are they real, or based in fact. Everything from recycling to just everything. The concept behind recycling was a good one. There have been several that I started watching. I started watching them in order from season 1 to like season 8. I think they had 8 seasons, like 14 episodes each season, and each one got better than the last. Well, I was never really 100% sure about Penn's stance when it comes to liberal conservative. He's very difficult to figure out, and like most intelligent people, he'll take a little from one and a little from the other, kind of mix it up in the middle, and see and we could see where his opinions fall regarding certain subjects that they took on in this show called Bullshit. That's the name of the show on Showtime, by the way. Bullshit. And Penn did one show that was it was about the death penalty, and I watched that one last night. It the result was less than stellar. I had a huge blow up, not a huge fight, but an heated argument with my girlfriend, not regarding the death penalty, but regarding whether or not you're right to believe that the way Penn thinks about the death penalty is at all correct. I don't know, maybe that is yes or no, pro or con death penalty. But as far as I was concerned, the more I watched this fucking episode, the less I was able to say I like Penn Jillette. And I've met him once or twice. I have the utmost respect for the man's talents as a musician, bass player. He's a fantastic jazz bass player, in case no one knew that, or few people do. But if you go to see his show in Vegas, he actually opens for himself. He lets his hair down, quite literally, and he plays bass, stand-up and electric. Jazz bass. He's incredible. The man's a monster on his instrument, as well as a great magician. He and Teller both. The deeper I got into watching this one particular episode, the more nauseated I became. Not because of Penn's stance, per se, on the death penalty. And you'll be surprised to see what portion of the criminal population he would consider not executing. It's pretty surprising. But we're going to play some of this. I want to stay with you guys through this tape, through this show. So actually what I'll do is I'll make myself tiny here, like that. And we'll make Penn full screen. And let's listen to this show from the top.
Death penalty is such a big, heavy subject, but it's fun. You'll see. All you do is answer a few easy questions. Is it ever morally right to kill a human being? No? Cool. Go get some ice cream, but come right back. Now, if you said yes, what about this question? Is it okay to kill someone if you aren't at war or if you aren't being immediately threatened by them? Did you say yes? Then riddle me this, Cape Crusader. Is the biblical eye for an eye punishment for heinous crimes cool with you? Yes? Hang right there. Should we chop off the life of a hatchet man if we think the fear of the death penalty deters crime? Yes? Don't touch that remote. Do you trust the government to kill only bad people? Should we rub out the truly rotten if it saves tax money? Hey, wait, Telly, you hang the guy. We didn't even ask all the questions. That's bullshit.
That is bullshit. And I have to interject at this point. The reason it's bullshit is because he mentioned taxes, saving taxes. He cited that as being a reason for the government to approve killing convicted killers, because that's really the only crime that warrants a death penalty. And at the same time, a couple of episodes back, he bashes recycling because it spends, or it takes taxes to recycle plastics and whatnot, because it takes tax money and it takes the American public paying billions of dollars a year in order for our recycling to take place. So in essence, what he's saying is it's okay to create a landfill and get rid of our trash that way rather than recycle, because it costs American taxpayers money to recycle. But it's not okay to get rid of human trash that, let's say, have killed Eitan Pats or Polly Klaas or any of the other children that have been killed by human excrement. It's okay to warehouse them and take care of them and use our tax money to pay to have them put in prison for the rest of their lives, rather than end these sick motherfuckers and put them in the ground to be sure, 100% sure, that they will never harm another innocent person ever again. Let's keep listening to Mr. Jillette.
Shit. Wait a minute. Bullshit. 8 letters. That's it. Bullshit. But it's too late. Look. I'm Penn, and that was my partner, Teller. The death penalty is bullshit.
All right. Well, bringing up while this is playing, I'll turn the sound down. bringing up the mere the mere fact that showing Teller hanging there and saying that I'm trying to work and think at the same time. It's kind of tough, but by saying that it's too late and this human being is now dead. That's what he keeps on going back to, by the way, through this entire thing. He keeps going back to not the fact that Teller is now dead because he took an innocent life, and he was convicted of it. He went through the entire process, of the law. The law gave him due process, and pretty much let them know that let the public know that if you take a life, you're going to be ended. If you take an innocent life, look, there are extenuating circumstances. There are, crimes of passion where it's adults involved, everything. I'm speaking specifically of children and innocent people who have nothing to do with the killer, with the killer's life being put to death by another individual, by a sick individual. That's where I have a problem with the death penalty not being employed. Here is let's watch some more of this.
Prison. Here's later tonight, a man is scheduled to die by lethal injection.
If the eye for an eye is the best that we can offer victims of violent crime, then we're their biggest opposition.
What else are you going to offer victims of violent crime? What is it that you're going to offer victims of violent crime? It's not an eye for an eye. It's that has very, very little to do with the death penalty, as far as I'm concerned. It's ridding this world of human waste product. Useless excrement, human shit.
We're always happy to have anyone named Penn on this show. Testify, Spicoli! On this night, the state of California is planning to execute Stanley Tukey Williams. He was one of the founding scumbags of the Crips.
And now he exonerates himself by calling Tukey Williams a scumbag.
Notorious gang that terrorized the streets of Los Angeles and nearly made blue bandanas butch. Stanley Williams was convicted of the 1979 killing of a 7-Eleven clerk during a robbery that netted $120. It said he shot Elbert Lewis Owens twice in the back with a sawed-off shotgun, and that several days later, during a motel robbery that netted about $100, Williams killed the owner, his wife, and daughter. Shotgun blasts, all at close range. In 1981, Williams was tried, convicted, and sentenced to be killed by us.
That's what happens. You take a life, you're going to be killed. There's no bigger deterrent, people. Everybody's got to agree. If you're looking at the possibility of being ended yourself while you're holding that shotgun at a family's back and getting ready to terminate 3 innocent individuals, it might just go through your monkey head that I could die if I continue this. If I see this through and kill these people, I myself might just die. Ooh, look at the crowd I'm in with here. Fuck me. Get me out of here quick.
There's only one crime that warrants the death penalty, and that's murder, and not all murders. The worst murders, serial killings, murders with multiple victims, murders where children are the victims, sexual tortures. The kind that viscerally, even when you ask people, well, I'm not for the death penalty, except for Josh Markey, District Attorney, Astoria, Oregon.
One of the few times I will agree 100% and wholeheartedly with a district attorney. You have to see the people that Penn gets for the other side of this story.
In his 10 years as an Oregon prosecutor, Marquis has sent one person to death row for us to kill.
We're talking about a reasoned moral response.
Today, most Americans agree. 64% of Americans say they support the death penalty. That's 36% of us who are forced to kill against our will.
And it's not because we're bloodthirsty, and it's not because we want to see people die. It's because we want to spare other people from being killed, raped, or seriously harmed.
Getting rid of human waste. If we can't, I've said this on Twitter before too, if we can't take these people and dump them on an isolated island in the middle of the Pacific somewhere, warehouse them that way. Give them a couple of chickens, a couple of fucking cows, and some seeds, and say, that's it. Now you're on your own. Now you don't have the right to live within our society, within a place that gives you as many freedoms as we still have left. The United States of America. A place that gives you that many freedoms, an extraordinary amount of freedoms, sometimes deserves extraordinary consequences when you abuse those freedoms. For one reason or another, for obvious reasons, it's impossible to say let's exile these fucking waste products to the fucking Congo, the middle of the jungle somewhere, an abandoned, a deserted island in the South Pacific. There are reasons that can't be done, but it's the same idea: getting rid of these people, taking them out of our society. When they go to prison for life, what we are committing to is housing garbage for the rest of their natural lives. We have to feed them. We need to provide them with shelter. We provide them, we can go further, with an education. We give them medical care. We give them the opportunity to socialize with one another. They're still living life in what, in essence, is a much more comfortable situation than the situation they've left the loved ones of their dead victim to live, in which to live. We, in essence, put murderers in with marijuana dealers that that are living the same. They're living the same lifestyle as a guy that got caught dealing pot back in the 70s when the war on drugs was happening, and they're in the same prison. They're in the same situation, the same circumstances. They live the same way as a guy that dealt drugs or defrauded some people out of money, like a crooked stockbroker. You're putting them in with the same people that killed children. You're putting the people that killed children in the same situation as a person who dealt weed. It's fucking ludicrous. But let's listen to this guy now, who is a proponent or an opponent of the death penalty and one of Penn's spokespeople. Let's listen to this brain surgeon.
The evidence is absolutely overwhelming and uncontradicted that living murderers do harm and murder again in prison, after escape, and unfortunately after we wrongly release them. My name is Dudley Sharp, and I'm for the death penalty.
All right, I fucked up. It's not this guy. This guy is it's a different individual that I was talking about. They kind of look similar. You'll see a little further down the line.
By executing murderers, we save more innocent lives. If we fail to execute murderers, more innocents will die.
Dudley Sharp is the former death penalty resources director for Justice for All, a crime victims advocacy group. Today, Dudley sells real estate near Dallas. Really?
The death penalty prevents the killer from ever killing again.
The death penalty would also stop a real estate agent from overcharging again.
That was a funny joke, Penn. Very funny. But what does it have to do with capital punishment? Now, let's get real. I mean, he throws. I understand it's supposed to be a tongue-in-cheek comedic show, but he's got nothing solid. He's got no real. He's got no real numbers, no facts, no figures. It all becomes goofing on people who are proponents of the death penalty.
But I digress. What about future crimes by other people? Does the death penalty have a deterrent effect?
There's a raft of studies that have come out in the last 5 years that show a clear correlation between a decrease in murder rate and the actual imposition of the death penalty.
Okay, we're going to talk about numbers. We'll get to numbers in a minute. We're going to deal with all the arguments for the death penalty, the deterrent, that the punishment must fit the crime, that it's painless and very, very efficient. We will deal with all those pro-death penalty arguments.
Those aren't pro-death penalty arguments. As far as lethal injection goes, actually, as far as any technique employed to end a life, personally, I don't care. And no one who is a proponent of the death penalty should care. These people that are convicted and beyond the shadow of any doubt whatsoever guilty of the crime they're being accused of should be ended in any possible fashion. Firing squad, electric chair, lethal injection, evisceration while being impaled on a 20-foot pole. I really don't care how it happens, just the matter that it happens. For the purpose of them never being able to take another life, another innocent life. But go on, Penn.
Before you can even talk about those, before you can even consider those, you have to say that it is okay to kill a human being.
The biggest difference between Penn Jillette and myself is that I do say it's okay to kill another human being when the circumstances warrant. No, go on.
Mark Class, president of the Class Kids Foundation. On October 1st, 1993, my 12-year-old daughter, Polly, was having a slumber party with two of her girlfriends.
Does Penn have kids? I don't know.
But at about 10:30 at night, Polly opened up the door to her bedroom, and there was a knife-wielding, bearded stranger standing there who told the girls that if they made a sound, he would slit their throats.
That man was Jimmy Norton.
He then proceeded to tie up Polly's girlfriends.
I'm kidding, of course.
And stole her into the night. We spent the next 65 days searching for her, only to find that this recidivist violent offender, who had only recently been paroled for his second kidnapping, had kidnapped, raped, and murdered her that very evening within about a 2-hour time frame.
Okay. If that's not enough for any parent, and apparently it isn't, because my girlfriend is vehemently opposed to the death penalty. I even tried drawing some comparisons. I said, what if your grandson or one of your daughters were, what if this had happened to one of them? Don't put me in that position. I'm not in that position. Don't put me in that position. All right, well, then there's still a chance. I don't think anyone who hasn't been in that position, that is opposed to the death penalty, could actually come across and say, yes, I think this person the person that committed this crime should be killed, should be executed, just to save another parent from feeling the way I do, the way the victim, the survivor of the survivors of the victim feels. For that reason alone, I think many people that feel as though they could never condone execution as a form of prevention, not punishment, prevention from further killing of innocents. I don't believe that any of those people would actually be able to stay with their current opinion if they had, or the current beliefs if they had anything like as heinous as Mr. Class had happened to him with his daughter.
And then went on to live his life.
Today, Richard Allen Davis, Paulie Class's murderer, sits on California's death row awaiting execution. Mark Class heads a victims' rights lobby group named for Paulie.
That's his punishment for the crime he committed against my child.
All right. You see, that's where I would have to disagree with Mr. Class. With all due respect, the punishment, death penalty as a punishment, is not what I'm condoning here. Death penalty as prevention of future acts of just treacherous acts. I can't even imagine, but the killing of a child, prevention, to have that never happen again by the hands of this fucking animal, is my main reason for being a proponent of the death penalty. Let's listen to this sick fuck.
He'll never be able to hurt another person. He'll never be able to influence another person. That's all it is. It's punishment.
A punishment, Class believes, that isn't cruel or inhumane.
When the son of a bitch is ready to be executed, there's going to be some bleeding heart liberal, or probably a bunch of them, standing out in front of the gates of San Quentin prison talking about the cruel and inhumane punishment that society is going to level on him, that we're going to kill him. We're eliminating a problem.
And that's all I've been saying. I don't agree with the part of his reasoning that it's a punishment and that it should be, leveled on the individual. Because honestly, yes, warehousing these animals is probably just as bad. I mean, if you want to punish, just waterboard the guy. I mean, you want to punish, torture them, let them live, and torture them. Some people say prison is torture. It's enough of a punishment, but then we start getting into the whether or not at this juncture of United States economics we want to continue warehousing trash, which is what these people are. Anyone who could take a child's life is trash. They're shit. They should be eliminated and taken away from humanity. They shouldn't even be. They should not be allowed to be in prison. They'll kill in prison. If they can kill a kid outside of prison walls, why not kill another inmate? So in closing, let's listen to this little bit of bullshit.
And something we can be certain of. 25 years ago, exonerating the accused with DNA wasn't even on the radar. Who knows what we'll learn about evidence in the human brain?
No, it wasn't. And you know what? It also wasn't on the radar that a person that was actually eyewitnessed to have killed an innocent person or a child it's also it was also immediate, and the riddance of these pieces of human excrement was swift. We didn't have lawyers that would tie things up for years in a case where it was plain to see and overtly obvious that an individual did wrong, murdered someone. There weren't 25 different ways to put the execution off. If someone was guilty, they went to their death. Problem solved. World a better place.
The day is coming when we will be certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that we've executed an innocent person.
It's already come. We've already executed innocent people. We execute innocent people every time we go to war. Innocent people are executed. I know he brought that up at the beginning of the show, but where's the difference? Where's the real difference? What's the difference in being a soldier in war or being the American people at home protecting themselves domestically? Where is the difference? A soldier in war kills people, kills the other side, the people that they need to eliminate, and innocent people are killed. Collateral damage. It's going to happen here too. There's nothing that can be done about it. Go on, Penn.
On that day, we're all murderers.
So I like him fading to white. You know what? That was the last time I saw him on TV. I'm not watching this show anymore. I just can't. He's throwing his morals, his own morality at what should be a cut and dried scientific equation. If you don't know how to live within our society, civilized society, you should be removed from it. And the most efficient way to have an animal removed from a society of civilized human beings is to get rid of that animal. We do it with dogs. We do it with animals that kill human beings for no reason. There are always going to be extenuating circumstances, folks. Crime of passion. Guy lost his mind. His whole life he was a good guy and came home, found his wife in bed with some other guy, and blew his fucking head off. Crime of passion. It wasn't planned. He didn't go to a little girl's door while she was having a sleepover with friends and say, "I'll slit your throats if you make a sound." Kidnap that little girl and kill her after raping her. There's a difference there, folks. And the law permits for showing those differences at trial. All right. Let's see, Penn.
If you support the death penalty.
This woman just irks the fuck out of me. Evidently, she has better morals than even Penn Jillette.
And only one single innocent person is killed, and killing an innocent person is murder, then you become murderers.
That's their biggest excuse. That's their biggest. That's the pièce de résistance. Thank you, honey. Coffee. Garçon, coffee. More coffee. Thank you, honey. But that's their big argument. That if one innocent person is killed by the system, we're all murderers. Why? Because we all have so much to say about about what the government does. Let's get real. Let's get honest here.
And so you also deserve to be killed. This is the paradox of the death penalty, and you cannot avoid this paradox.
It's blatantly hypocritical for the government, on the one hand, to teach children and to urge a respect for...
If he continues to wear those glasses, I want him to be executed. I want that guy to be executed.
The culture of life from the time we're little through life, and yet the government intercedes against some violent convicted felons and kills these people in the name of the law.
It's not okay with us. We don't believe in killing to make a point. And
37% of you lose.
eye for an eye is the basest of human emotions. And
The basis of eye for an eye, the basis of human emotion. He's acting completely on emotion. But is it okay to kill another human being? Penn, shut the fuck up. Let's look at it. Let's look at it realistically. Let's not look at your morals versus the morals of the majority of Americans, believing that not only is it a deterrent to people who may think twice about pulling the trigger if their own lives are at stake, but it's also a way of ridding humanity of their own excrement, garbage, people that are worthless. Once you take an innocent life, especially that of a child, you are useless and should be ended, destroyed, obliviated.
if people are dangerous, keep them locked up longer. If it's too expensive, feed them cheaper food.
Oh, sure. Feed them cheaper food. He's going for the laugh. He's not going for the meat of the subject. No, you don't keep them locked up longer. You don't feed them cheaper food. You get rid of them. The same way you get rid of a sick dog. Well, if a dog attacks a baby, let's put him in a pound. Because that's the way we should treat animals. PETA will get all over us if we shoot the fucking dog out back.
And you know that deterrent idea, the idea that the death penalty keeps a criminal from having any more influence on the world, the idea that once you kill someone, no one will follow in his footsteps, the idea that all the ideas...
That's not the idea. The idea is that if that deterrent is in place, instead of there being 20 murders a year in this one particular demographic, maybe there'll only be 10. Maybe 10 of those people, maybe 50% of those people will say, you know what? I remember that other guy who was in a similar situation, killing that person, getting the electric chair, getting lethally injected, being put to death. So do I really want to die or take the chance that I'm going to be put to death by pulling this trigger right now? Or should I think twice about it? That's for the sane. That's for people. That's for premeditated murderers. Now, there are the sick fucks that kill kids. And what should we do with them? Should we put them in hospitals? Try to treat them? Hope that when they're treated and they're deemed to be rehabilitated, that they don't get out and do it again? Is that what we're supposed to do? They're crazy, right? To kill a child, you must be crazy. Must not be right in the head. So, is that what we should be doing? Trying to fix their brains? Or just fucking get rid of them?
Die with someone once you've killed them? Yeah, deterrent. Jesus Christ.
Oh, and then the atheist throws in a little bit of religion just to get you thinking. Just to get you thinking a little bit. Jesus Christ. Penn, this entire episode was bullshit. Bullshit. Thank you so much for coming back to view us, folks. Much appreciated after a 2-week layoff. Like I said, we had a lot going on. But I'll be back next week, next Wednesday at 8 p.m. right here. We would like to wish Gene Marchello, my former lead singer, the very best. I hope everything goes his way. If you guys want to stop up on his Facebook page and let him know how much you appreciate him and his talents, please feel free to do so. Next week, I will be using these little babies right here to tape a compound poker game that we're having this Saturday at my brother's home with the likes of Fred from Brooklyn, Mother Shuck, and a bunch of our friends, including my brother Anthony. We will be airing that next week. The poker game. I can get my whole cards in there, and it's hilarity. It is hilarious. You will enjoy it for sure. Stop up and see my brother at the Anthony Cumia Show. That is www.anthonycumia.com. He is a much funnier son of a bitch than I will ever be. So stop up there, catch some of his free stuff on YouTube as well. And we will see you next week. Thanks so much for stopping up, folks. Have a good night.
We now return control of your television set to you until next week at this same time, when the control voice will take you to